A lot of what rewiring your mind means is that you actually start identifying as a different person. And that can actually be really scary. That could be intimidating. That if you don't really know what I'm talking about, like at first that's what? I don't want to be a different person. I want to be me, but I want to be the healed version of me. Or I want to be the fixed version of me, or I want to be the happy version of me, or whatever. And what that comes down to is recognizing that that means who you identify yourself to be is going to change, right? You can't be who you are right now exactly as you are and be different, right? Something changes and it's you who changes. So it's not the outside world that suddenly just morphs and shifts and gives you everything you want. That may be the secondary reality of that, but it starts from within. And that means you have to be willing to, even if you don't really know, what it's going to be like or how that exactly feels, you have to be willing to let go of a certain way that you see yourself and allow yourself to see yourself as something different. So it may be letting go of seeing yourself as a victim. That can be very triggering because a lot of us feel that we were in fact victims, and I'm not saying you weren't. But I'm saying right now, as the identity you assume, do you want to right now still have that claim that I am a victim? Then if you do, then that's fine. But empowering yourself to make change and get the things you want and take charge and reach your goals and have success, you're not a victim. You're a winner. You get what you want. And you may have a story of the past where you were absolutely a victim and no one's going to try to deny that. But you get to choose now who you're being. And you don't have to identify now as the same full identity that you were in the past. We are always changing. We're welcome to change. We're free to change. And it's our perspective of ourselves that needs to change for our experience to change. Because no matter what's going on around us, we're filtering it all the time through our beliefs. And if our beliefs say, as this example, like I'm a victim, we are going to pick up the information and perceive things and even subconsciously create actions. We might say things and do things and respond to things in a way that keeps that identity stable. I am a victim. So if I'm a victim, that means things don't go my way. That means I might, and this is a really no blame, no shame on you, but things that we might do is subconsciously sabotage ourselves. So if I have the identity that I'm a victim, I might subconsciously sabotage a relationship with the idea that I can't just have everything I want. I'm someone where things don't work out for. I'm someone who gets mistreated. So without my conscious awareness or intention or choice, I'm just kind of letting these patterns run that lead me to take actions, to say things, to be in a certain mood that creates an environment in my relationships where I'm still a victim. And that's why hypnotherapy is so powerful, because you change on a subconscious level. You change things you don't even realize you were doing, right? You don't have to consciously decide not to do this, not to do that, do this different, do that different. You just give yourself new instructions by claiming a new identity and say, I am this, I am a winner, I am successful. And all those subconscious programs now start validating that and start inciting you to act, not just in big ways to get big, results, but in all the little micro ways to actually allow you to fully be that person you want to be and get the results you want to get day to day, experience to experience. So it's all about identity, and your identity is rooted in your beliefs, who you believe you are, who you say I am. And it's not your fault if you have an identity or a belief system that doesn't empower you to get everything you want. A lot of us have histories where we learned things and we embedded beliefs within us to cope and to make the best of situations we were in. We're still carrying them now. They're not helping us anymore. We're holding on to identities that we don't even want to hold. And I just think it's a really important factor to recognize that when you want to get what you want, when you want to be healed, you got to be the version of you that's healed, right? When you want to be in that amazing relationship, you got to be the version of you who's in an amazing relationship, who deserves that, who owns that, who has that, who loves that, instead of potentially the person you're being now who fears that, who feels insecure about that, who is subconsciously sabotaging it based on the beliefs you hold. So when you recognize that the change is within you and it's just a perspective shift, it's not a fixing, it's not a correcting of self, it's just a shift of beliefs, a shift of identity. That is when you start making change and getting what you want. So if you're curious to learn more about this and how to approach this through hypnotherapy and mindset coaching, you can book a free consultation to chat. Otherwise, I do have a few hypnosis audios you might want to consider to just kind of start giving your brain the instruction that, hey, I am this new identity. There's a self-love one that's I personally think is really powerful. And there's also a manifest your dream life where you're just kind of okay, I'm in this new identity. What is that? What's that feel like? That I would also recommend. Otherwise, I am wishing you all the very best. Take care.